Hey, Kern here from Home Recording Weekly. Hope you're having a good day. As you can see, maybe you can't, it's late at night here. Sneaking this video in because I think what I have to talk about today is kind of important. We spend a great deal of our time mixing, recording, mastering music, learning to use monitors and all kinds of great ways to make art. And a lot of us spend huge amounts of time at our computer learning the trade, also making content, watching YouTube, watching movies, enjoying music from iTunes and things like that. And the monitors that we use to make music are completely different than the speakers we use for everything else. Now, I'm kind of shifting gears here. I watch a lot of training videos. You guys know I do. I talk about them all the time. And it demands critical listening. When they're making fine adjustments on things like compressors and multiband compressors and EQs, you really need to listen close to what they're doing in these training videos. If you're using the speakers that came with your computer, you're really missing out on an incredible amount of information and a lot of stuff that makes learning so much easier and more fulfilling. Now, Cerwin Vega is a name that's, I can remember as a young man going out to the clubs, and there was one club in my hometown in particular that had Cerwin Vega speakers, mains, and bass cabs, and it shook the whole building. Cerwin Vega is known for their intense, amazing sound from the speakers. So it makes sense that I looked into speakers for everything else other than mixing and mastering my music. I spend a great deal of time learning, watching training videos from Groove 3, from all the guys that I recommend. You guys know that I spend a great deal of my time learning the trade. And if I'm not doing that, I like to relax and watch movies on my computer, listen to music, YouTube. It's almost endless with Hulu and Netflix now, and I think a lot of people spend a great deal of time, great amount of time at their computer. So why not ditch the crappy speakers that come with your computer and invest in something that's rewarding, is going to pay back, and is going to make all of that training so much more meaningful. These are the Cerwin Vega XD5s. They make several different sizes. I believe they make a 3-inch, a 4-inch, and a 5-inch. These are the 5-inch. They also have the XD8s Subwoofer, which I have. It's under my desk. Critical listening when you're watching training videos is so important. And I had such terrible speakers that I would use these headphones, and after an hour of wearing headphones, your ears fill up with sweat, you get ear fatigue, you get antsy, you fall into this zone where you're not really in reality and the learning doesn't really stick. Take the headphones off. These things, I thought I would get them to see how they sounded with my training videos, to see if it would boost the learning experience, and it's a joy. Cerwin Vega calls these monitors, Cerwin Vega isn't really associated with the kind of monitors that maybe you and I talk about more often than not, and that's recording and mixing monitors, right? And our monitors are a sterile sound that we learn and learn to mix with and master with. It's completely different than what Cerwin Vega means when they use the word monitors. They're used to using, to making mains and bass cabs that fill up a whole building with dance music or rock and roll or whatever. These, in Cerwin Vega's eyes, are desktop monitors. So know that one little difference. Now, Cerwin Vega calls these monitors, so I'm going to call them monitors. They do have a great stereo spread, and they do allow for that image in the center of mono. Like when you're watching a training video, you want a speaker that's going to be able to reproduce what they're doing in the video. They use bass, they use kick drums, they use guitars and vocals, and they make extremely subtle changes. And for the most times, you can't hear that with the speakers that came with your computer. So I believe it's time to upgrade, and I am so happy, so satisfied with these. Now, I started talking about these in episode 47 of the Home Recording Weekly podcast, and I realized quickly I need to show you guys what it is I was talking about in the podcast. These things are amazing. Now, the way they work is they take your audio from your, let's say, your computer, and I have it going straight to the subwoofer. There's a crossover on the subwoofer, which allows the lows to come out of the sub in mono, and then everything from the crossover, those frequencies that don't go through the subwoofer, come through the two satellite speakers here, the two 5-inch XD5s. And so it goes into the subwoofer through the crossover. All the lows come out the subwoofer, which is an 8-inch speaker, and there's an amplifier in the speaker. Everything else comes out the 5s, and each one of those has an amp built in, and it pumps out everything else. So it goes, from the subwoofer, from R to RCA into these. Now, it doesn't stop there. Cerwin Vega really did some homework before they released these, let's call them monitors and subwoofers. There's the awesome remote control right here. And this isn't just some piece of plastic. This thing is rugged. It's metal. It's amazing. It's got a non-slip rubber foot, as do the mains. And these things are heavy. There's some heft here. They're well made. This remote control, at first I thought it was kind of gimmicky. I thought I wouldn't use it. Man, I love it. I use it probably 30 times a day. I'm touching it. I'm turning it on. I'm turning it off. Changing things. There's a headphone jack right here. There's an auxiliary input right here. There's a headphone jack and an auxiliary input on the speakers. This remote control, like I said, has an auxiliary input, so I can plug in my MP3 player. Anything that you can convert to an 1/8-inch stereo, you can plug into this auxiliary input. And there's another one here, like I said, and there's a headphone out, which is very handy. I like plugging right into these. It's convenient, it's handy. I have these pushed back a little bit. You see how dangerously close that is to my monitor? Back in the day, you had to be so careful about placing speakers so close. These are shielded. You don't have to worry about that. They're shielded. They're not going to mess up your monitors. They're not going to mess up any televisions, anything like that. The XD5s are awesome. They're rugged. They sound amazing. Another feature I like about these is there's also on the back, there's RCA inputs, like I told you. It comes from the subwoofer. There's also 1/4-inch mono, like guitar inputs. There's two of them for the left and right. At first, I was kind of taken by that. I didn't know why they would include that. I'm not going to plug my mixing rig, my mastering software into these because they're not as baseline zero as my monitors are. They're not as sterile as my monitors are. I believe these have some hype built into them to sound as good as they do. And it took some time to figure out. I got watching other videos and reading manuals and things. You can plug anything you want into these. You can plug your drum machine, your keyboards. The sky's the limit, what you can plug into these monitors. If you take them out of the house, you can plug definitely any kind of audio into them. They're not going to do a DJ gig or anything like that. These things are not that powerful. I haven't turned them up to half yet in my room, and I love music. I love loud music. The subwoofer handles all the low energies beautifully, and these things produce quality sound. The bang for the buck is there. The reason I'm doing a video on these is because we spend so much time training, learning, watching training videos, the ones that I recommend over on homerecordingweekly.com. You want to get every nuance that you can out of these training videos. That's where these excel. Man, I wouldn't be making a video for these and raving about them if I didn't think it could help you in your learning journey. And every day, even games, playing video games. I'm not a gamer, but man, these would be kicking with video games, especially because it has a subwoofer that you can buy, the XD8s. It's awesome. And the crossover works fine. If you like more low-end information coming out of your satellite speakers, you can definitely set the subwoofer that way. But man, you get so much more out of watching. Even the little YouTube clips these guys are making, like, you know, how to fatten up your snare in 3 easy steps, right? You watch it. Through the little tiny speakers that come with your computer and stuff, you can hear people talking, you can hear the snare drum hit, but you're not getting, it's amazing how much quality they're putting into those videos. Now that I have these Cerwin Vegas, I can hear every nuance, and it's quite amazing. I don't have to be huddled in here wearing headphones anymore. I'm free to move about the cabin, and it's awesome. Guys, this is just a quick video on the Cerwin Vega XD5s and the XD8 subwoofer. I'm going to show you guys some pictures as this video goes on, just for a couple more minutes. My name is Kern. I post home recording weekly. Head over to homerecordingweekly.com. I got a bunch of videos, a bunch of reviews over there. You click on the review tab, and all of the reviews that I've done are right there for you in alphabetical order. If you want to learn more about mixing, mastering, how to record and make good music, I've reviewed almost every training video that's out there from all of the big names, and I've got lengthy reviews with all kinds of screenshots over there. homerecordingweekly.com. You know, there's also a free ebook over there. If you want to build your own acoustic room treatment like I have here, I'm missing a few panels. I've been doing some recording work out of my home, so I've left them there. But I've got my bass traps, and I've got some broadband absorption up still. If you want to learn how I made this stuff on the cheap, I have a free ebook. It's got all kinds of links, the images, step by step. I even have pretty crude but easy to follow plans if you want to build your own. Man, it didn't take me very long to make these, and I'm thrilled with the performance I'm getting from them. It's over at homerecordingweekly.com. It's a free ebook. Just take it. It's yours. We'll see ya.